Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Future Friday, we're going to talk about how to fix India's hollow tech tree. So we have a hollow tech tree, what can we do to fix it? So first, just a quick overview. We are not self-reliant, even though we are 80 years old, like this modern India. We do not actually have that level of independence as we need. And even though, like, it's not like, oh, India did not take education seriously. We did. Like, surprisingly early on, we put surprisingly large amount of money, and there is a very good reason why, like, so many tech CEOs and early scientific research and development also had so many Indians. We like poured money on STEMs very early. I mean, just after independence. So, like, if you want to see a contrast, India and Pakistan got independence almost at the same time. See how much money they put versus how much we did. Like, we went YOLO on it. Now, here's the deal. We went YOLO on it. It did have, like, top results are really good. It's just that why the heck country did not, like, got elevated, so to say. So, one of the good thing about in this scenario is that India has massive demand for everything. You want to manufacture mobile phones, we gonna consume it. You want to manufacture cars, we gonna consume it. You gonna manufacture air condition, we gonna consume it. Every single electronics, we are going to devour it. So we have demand for everything. And here's the tiny weeny problem. They are controlled by foreign nation states. So yeah, that's an issue. We have demand, we have population, but control switch is someone else. Basically, Xi Jinping has a button on his table, like, it's like attack Taiwan, and then there is a button, delete India. That's bad. So foreign nation states control, and again, that has multiple consequences. First of the consequence that every Indian citizen knows is that our currency is not strong. Like, I was not that, long ago, as in like school memory, like I know this. I remember like dollar were like 30 to 40. That was like a core memory. It's like, oh, dollar like 40, 50 rupees almost. Yeah, now I'm reaching 100. Like, people are like, a lot of Indians saying, oh, dollar is falling. It's like, yeah, we are falling faster than that. It's not like dollar has like fallen, which again, it is factually true. Dollar has inflated a lot recently, and it's not like our stabilized. Even if it was stabilized, that would be fine. It's just that I'm not even talking about recovery. We are losing. So that is the fundamental. If your foreign nations control it, they're like, that's a bad thing. And whole India can collapse without war. That's the scary part to me. It's like, if something bad happens, like genuine external threat or crisis happens, let's say a brutal war with Pakistan or a war of attrition with China, that's one thing. That's one thing. If that breaks a country, that's like, you fought honorably. Yeah, they do not need to do that. That's the scary part. They do not need to do that. Without war, you can fold India. And it has consequences. And Indians know this. We just do not put words to it. For example, what happens in India is many times controlled by outside forces. For example, what we do with our currency and economy would be like, dictated by the World Bank, and IMF, basically International Monetary Fund Commission, will decide like how does Indian government spend money. Again, we were very poor in the early years and we were really messy. Although now we are reached that point where it's like, we're gonna tell because again, we are donating. So I have to say our founding father took an impossible task and fixed it. Again, contrast, look into what IMFC relationship is with Pakistan versus India. Both got independence at the same time. So, and WTCO, basically World Trade Organization, controls world trade. And if you are not a strong partner, they dictate what you to do. Not they, technically, oh, you have a seat, but they will dictate. They'll dictate. They're not gonna talk to you, they're gonna dictate to you. So for example, why do you think American companies like 3M became so rich out of refrigerants? Yeah, World Trade Organization forced it. Like, why do you think the whole world switched to the basically next generation of refrigerant that was supposedly not harmful to ozone? WTC enforced it. They're like, you have to do it, you have to buy from us, and then if you don't, we're gonna block your trade. So fundamentally, I do not like this idea. I do not like the idea that faith of 1.5 billion people should be controlled from outside. So why do we have this problem? If we have so much intelligence, so much, again, economic horsepower is serious now, it's the mindset problem. Well, here's the deal. We did show wisdom in some scenarios. And in some factors like India's are good. Like, we got this. For example, China did try to dump steel in India. Again, we were close by. They're like, okay, what if we deleted India's steel industry? And Indian businessmen, government, Parliament, everybody got together. It's like, we understand on paper it might seem brutal, but we're gonna tariff the hell out of it. We're gonna destroy it. And that saved our steel industry. There was some stupendously, idiotically dumb countries that were like, oh, China, cheap steel. They imported a lot of cheap steel, shut down their foundries because again they could not compete with that. But turns out it was all happening because 2008 market crisis trigger, before that China was over expanding. They were like building so many steel mills, so they had a scenario. It's like, what the hell to do? They're like, hey, what if we remove taxes on the steel and dump it worldwide, collapse all their other steel department, and they'll have dependency on us. Thankfully, I have to say, more than enough country had a brain to like, yo, we cannot have this. Like even European Union, which was shocking to me that they reacted so quickly. It's like, whoa, no. That's like, stop China dumping. Basically, flat out, no, you will not have steel coming from someone else. Like, steel shall not come out. And again, India also shown same level of intelligence with medicine. India is surprisingly competent when it comes to medicine manufacturing. We give us the raw ingredients, we're gonna give you medicine. And it is so cheap, medical science in India, and quality of service. A lot of Americans are coming here for medical tourism. Not even joking. So, to be fair, Americans smoked too much political fighting and too much lawyers and too much insurance. You messed up your healthcare, man. Like, I have relatives who living there. They're like, bro, we come here once a year and that's how we get our health treatment. It's brutal there. So we did show intelligence that, hey, steel should not be imported. Medicine should not be dependent from outside. And again, it showed like India should have been devastated by a pandemic known as Corona, but we were not. Why? Our medicine science got our back. They're like, we got you. Not only we made vaccines, we also distributed it. We're like, bro, we got this. We good. But we ignored electronic technology. And there is a bit of difference between steel and electronics. Steel, once you figured it out, like, I'm talking like 1950s, there's not that much whoa happening in steel. Like, we good, we got this, but not like, whoa, like, It's like, it's sorted kind of. And medical, again, because we were never leaving it and like we had continuous work on it, we are like really good at it. So electronics had this problem. It's like, every year you delay, you can no longer match it. For example, this is the electron microscope in 1930. Now that should trigger some red alert in you, is that, wait a minute. 1930 is before space mission, as in before Apollo landing. And Apollo landing had the first silicon system, as in like actual what you and I call microcontroller was invented for that. So how the heck this works without that? Yeah, this works completely on analog system. Not even joking, they used to put a film, Insta film that you see, they put a film, that's how they got the exposure out of it. So all the old photos you see in the magazines and newspaper, even in TV, was like, this is the photo from electron microscope. Most of them are not digital signal, not even analog or VCR. They are literally negatives that they captured. So all of this without a single microcontroller. Of course, they do have op amps, they do have stuff, but that's it. It's basically CRT TV with extra steps, nothing more. But it was a working thing. We never jumped into it. And again, every year that went by, it started with, let's say, if I'm not mistaken, very low voltage, like 10 kilovolt. And they quickly switched to 25 kilovolt. Now you can buy some of them that are like 100 kilovolt. So you see, like, you waited, now it's like, oh, the barrier is becoming so difficult. It's like, yeah, just buy from outside. That's the problem. And we have a very serious hunger to catch up to the West. And it did show, like, India got into basically mobile network surprisingly early. And we jumped through technologies horrifyingly quickly. Basically, the only 2-3 places that are ahead of us would be South Korea and Japan, those sort of places. Like, India got 3G late, 4G decent time, 5G instantaneously. Like, every jump where we are becoming expedited. We are like, bro, we're gonna buy this, we're gonna put the fiber, and now we are laying down. Let that be very clear. Indian private companies are laying undersea fiber. That's how big these companies are. So fundamentally, we got this. We did try to catch up. Although it did create a opening. That opening was we did not pay attention to the base, and we developed such an infrastructure for buying, importing things and working with an international supplier. We never thought, like, why bother, like, developing all the core technologies. That created the feedback loop. And again, because we have catched up, like, flat out right now in India, you can do almost any and everything in every technology, including making rockets. It's like, it allows us to sleep. It's like, hey, we can lie to sleep. It's like, hey, we are independent, we are awesome. It's like, we can sleep. So that is there. But again, the worst mindset that it created is Why make it when you can buy it? And it's almost like, oh, America has so many car factories. In India, we have Pune that has a lot of car factories. It's like, yeah, it's not a factory, it's an assembly. If I disable one part that is microcontroller coming from somewhere else, be it Taiwan, be it China, be it Japan, be it somewhere else, yeah, you did. Kaput, deleted, nothing. So that's the illusion. I have to say, like, surprisingly, India has wisdom about medicine. Surprisingly, steel, cement, and lot of things. Like, we are like, bro, we should not rely. Again, you can import some specialty cement, you can import some specialty tool steel and something like that. But core, we got this. We good. So that mindset, like, and electronics does not tolerate being delayed. Like, you have to constantly running for it, almost like medical science. So that kind of created a paradox of feedback loop. The gap is now so wide that it's like, hey, we can buy it, why bother building it? So that's a bad thing. So why this gap became so, what you call, unsurmountable? What's the core issue here? Core issue is that we can't make core electronics, as in resistor, capacitor, inductor. Now, why don't we make it? Because here's the deal. These things are not sexy nowadays. They were sexy in 1930s. And again, if you look into old, basically GPS clocks, it's literally all resistor and capacitor and all that. It's like, how the heck it worked? It worked based on op-amps. Before we had like proper full-fledged semiconductor, microcontroller and all that, it was the world of op-amps. The word op-amp is operational amplifier. And again, only if you have mastery about analog circuitry, then you can switch to digital circuitry. Yeah, and we did not dump enough research into this. So that is an issue. And the worst part of that issue is, like, we kind of know, but we created as like, you can buy it. Why bother building resistor and capacitor and inductor system? Here's the deal. Inductors now are idiotically expensive. Again, quality ones. Why? Our switching frequency is going up. Ask any inductor people. It's like, hey, what happens if you increase the frequency from, let's say, kilohertz of switch mode power supply to megahertz? They're like, yeah, inductor needs to be tailor-made. Again, you could not do that if you had not been following the whole trend where we went from kilohertz to megahertz to gigahertz. Yeah, we can't do inductor. Capacitor, countries fight over this. Not even joking. Like, why do you think you know the term Japanese capacitor? It's brutally difficult. And again, our Navik satellite had a capacitor problem. Resistors, companies burn money like there is no tomorrow just to get extra zero, as in like 0.1% tolerance. Throw it away. 0.001% tolerance. Okay. 0.0001%. Whoa. So that's today. Like, we are literally, again, this time the resistors were not that good. Now we have that good resistors. So even though we look down on it almost like a coping mechanism, people who understand science and technology, they're like, bro, we got, like, if you can master resistor, like quality resistors, shut up, take money. Capacitor, they're like, bro, we're gonna have like trade secret wars for this. And inductor, yeah, again, they are becoming the sweet things now. And after that, after you have mastered these technologies, 1930s technology, you reach into what we call active elements, basically MOSFET, IGBTs. And again, we could look down on it. It's like, hey, this is just a thing, you can buy it. No, you can't. Few years ago, you could not have bought gallium nitride. Few years ago, you could not have bought silicon carbide systems. Right now, there are people researching on how to make diamond switches. Yeah. We're not gonna have, like, let us say, oh, India is gonna have like so much electric. We have car manufacturing. We're gonna do electric vehicle manufacturing. No, you're not. You're gonna just buy modules. Whoever is the cheapest supplier, we're gonna buy the module and assemble it. Not gonna make it, because again, we did not pay attention to resistor, capacitor, inductor era, op amp era, MOSFET, IGBTs. Yeah, that's the second thing. And ICs and operational amplifier, complex one that we use nowadays. Yeah, that's why I said, like, metal will not harass you if you are delayed. Electronics industry will. It will fire missile at you. Like, this is a flight computer from a old US military system. It's analog only. There is not a single microcontroller in this. Not a single digital unit. It's like, bro, we got this. We can tell you distance before GPS. Analog computers. Oh, MRI machine, right? Everybody's like, oh, cryogenic helium. Yeah, it was used to work with permanent magnet. It was not very sharp, but it used to work. You can make it. Like, if you are just making a diagnostic detector where it's just like, don't give me full image, just give me whether I have cancer cell or not. It could be made with a permanent magnet. And some people are trying to bring it back because, again, that time neodymium was not that sorted. Now it is. So they're like, we could reach 1 Tesla. It won't be great because, again, even the cheapest MRI machine is 1.5 Tesla. But again, 1 Tesla with our modern sensitivity of equipments should be able to give good enough result. and no liquid helium. So fundamentally, it's just that every year we are not focusing on laying down the foundation. We are drifting further, and that current tech line just becomes unattainable. Like for example, right now a lot of Indians had this issue. It's like why India is buying fighter jet from France rather than making it. And somebody said this idea you will keep hearing is that it will take 30 years to make a 5th gen fighter for India. Okay, cool, awesome. Here's the deal. It will take 40 years to make 6th generation. It will take 50 years to make 7th gen. Every year we delay, it becomes exponential problem that we can no longer solve. So waiting is not an option. And again, we looked down on those things. They fired missile at us. So without core, these are necessity. You cannot have any electronic manufacturing in India. All you will have is assembly. So it's a necessity. And again, it's a vulnerability for us because we consume a lot of that. Like if you look into assembly, basically every assembly, be it fan controllers, motor controllers, inverters, all of that, how much capacitor, resistors and inductors are being consumed? It's in billions, multiple billions annually. So not having a supply chain for that is India, and again, it's still a active research field. That's a very big issue. That's why India has this chicken and egg scenario. It's but we want latest and greatest. But again, you can't make latest and greatest from day one. And every year you delay and buy from something else becomes a exponential problem. So I did specify in the last one, there is a solution. So in education, we have similar tactics applied for MBBS, Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Science. Do not ask me why the letters are inverted. It's India's medical system. You go there, it's a long process, and then you become a doctor. Cool, awesome, GG. Here's the deal. They realized very early on, our government is if we allowed people to just leave, they'll just leave. They'll study there, go to higher education or do their own private system. But they needed to make sure there are actual doctors available for low cost, operations. So they're 1 year. You do your education, but you have to do 1 year of internship. Mandatory, it's not optional, you have to do it. Again, I'm pretty sure almost every place has something similar, but again, we learned this the hard way. You do not allow easy escape. So same way, all the engineering institutions like IITs and IIM, all of that, we have a lot of them, those has to contribute to open source hardware. So, and again, let that be that I'm not expecting all of them to work only on that 24/7. That's not the point. It's just that you have to contribute to it. Basically, it's a mountain that you have to chip away at it. And again, next batch after you will chip away more. Brick by brick, you're going to chip away at it. So what's the aim? Deliverable here. Build tools. Why tools? Once you actually start to make a tool, you understand why things matter. It's very hard to talk to someone and explain to them, even if they are engineer. On paper, they have studied, oh yeah, you need high precision resistor. What actually happens if you make a tool? Let's say you made a tool and you did not use a quality resistance. If people say Chinesium quality, it's made on the same machine, same assemblies, even sometimes same PCB as quality materials. It's just that they swap out those things. If you are building it yourself, you inherently understand that what the heck happens. And you can diagnose it also very quickly. It's hey, supplier is effing us. So build tools and try to build each component. If you can buy, for example, starting with microscope, cool. The aim, first batch would be just to make a PUMA microscope. Of course, buy IPs and objective. But here's the deal. We have optics class in, lens engineering and all that in optics. Again, Mark 1, just make it. Mark 2, okay, now make a physical eyepiece, then make a physical objective, then make a physical improvement. Basically, this is Zeiss. How did Zeiss measure? How many elements it has? What can we do? How can we improve it? If you know any interest in camera lenses, they always keep re-releasing the same lens, 24/70. I'm pretty sure Nikon has released it 5 or 6 times so far. And again, Sony has also done, heck, this 24/70 f2.8 is Mark 2. Why they had Mark 1 and Mark 2? They keep improving it. So you start with that, get the base, then improve the base. So, and what it will teach you, right? What's the student's benefit? Cross-disciplinary competency, as in, let's just say you want to make electron microscope. Cool, awesome. Again, it's a similar thing as what you call CAT scan, but electron microscope. What does it mean? It simply means it's a chamber that has vacuum, meaning somebody has to know how to make vacuum, quality vacuum, how to measure quality vacuum, how to maintain a vacuum. You can't just use normal rubber. Why can't you use that? What is the outgassing risk? How do you set? So that people has to work with you. Second, high voltage power supply. You are talking about some serious voltage here. Again, it's not unheard of to go as high as 100 kilovolt DC. So you need to know how to deal with those things and make sure it does not arc. So high voltage people has to get involved into this. Again, even if the Mark 1 you are building is just like, buying parts, and even if it's a foreign component, that's not an issue. It's just that you have to slowly build the infrastructure, then go deeper into it. It's like, okay, this is year 1 batch. They made this high voltage power supply. How can we improve this? How can we make this cheaper? How can we make this safer? How can we make this more diagnosticable? So cross-disciplinary, meaning the whole university, the whole college has to chip in to make these things possible. And again, all the tools and things they are developing has to be an open source toolkit. And the aim is lab should be fully fledged. This, I have to say, India really did mess up. Even though we have bonkers amount of money and colleges are idiotically expensive. Again, not as expensive as American one. America's like, what are you doing? But like, it's expensive for us. And we do not have enough toolkit. I'm not joking, this happened. I was called to a quality, science, almost university level, like college in Chennai, where I had to explain to them like oscilloscope. These are professors. They know every formula, every thesis, they can do that. They never actually physically worked with oscilloscope. I was the one who's like, this is the oscilloscope. Raigol took me there. So again, oscilloscope is not magic. Same thing, 1930s. Again, I'm not expecting them to make with CRT. It will be too messy. It could be done, but they can just make it a digital system. So brick by brick, open source tool and increasing capability. So you will not just like, oh, we made electron microscope, done. No. You just make a sloppy one, make a refined one, Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3. Each year by year, you keep pushing on it, keep polishing it. And then you pass it down to institute. For example, let's say you built it, right? You built a decent one, you pass it down to a cheaper university. Now build a fresh one, Mark 2. Again, if you keep forcing everyone to go from Mark 1 to Mark 2, Mark 2, 3, you would be surprised how much innovations happened. The worst thing you can do is just keep polishing on one thing. You have to throw it away. Trust me. Like Iron Man 1, if you have seen that movie, it's like he takes the one, throws it all in the dustbin, then makes the Mark 2. Trust me, I have done that. It's a critical thing. So, and what is the deliverable from students' education point of view? Real world project management. Every student, every college faces the same issue. How the college is structured is really good for learning and experimenting and all that jazz. Really horrendous for working in a company. And companies have the same paradox. They are like, okay, we have to get students in, we have to pay them, and we have to train them to actually becoming useful. So this will reduce that time gap. Meaning instead of taking 6 months, if you have gone through this whole hassle period, you should be able to shrink that training period from 6 months in company circle to 3. That's why real world project management and deliverables. Like, it's not just like, oh, I experimented with. No. You had to have a deliverable. And again, new and shiny things. A lot of people are like, oh, but I want to make quantum tunneling machine. Cool, awesome, bro, awesome. But that has to be second phase. First phase, you get this. Like how we force doctors. Like, no. First you have to serve. Then you have your freedom. Again, it's a what you call collaborative deal, because again, if everybody was not paying taxes, you cannot afford education institutes. So we have to flush it down. Like, for example, this is a medical kit. One guy is like, okay, this costs $14,000. How about no? How about I make it? How about it's $250? Pick and place machine, PCB rapid prototyping machine. What if somebody figures out, hey, how the heck are we gonna do etching on PCB on a through-hole component? So basically plating. That's the vias. Vias are the most difficult part to do in rapid prototyping. If somebody cracks it, ta-da! So that's what we're going to do from education's point of view, if you really want to make sure that India has independence. Whereas like, I have not seen kids being interested in science, and I have a very suspicious feeling that almost none of the boys have actually seen stomata with their own eyes. I have a very scary feeling. I hope it's not true, but I have a bad feeling. Now, is it necessary, right? Can't we just be convenient and just chill? Here's the deal. Cheap goods means nothing if you do not have a job. That's the same thing we learned with steel industry. We have to learn with electronics. It means nothing if you have, oh, we have cheap goods. Yeah, we don't have a job. Like India's first complaint, we don't have enough jobs. Make it. Like, there is a whole sector that is blank and we're just like so lazy. Yeah, we can buy it. No? The whole sector is asking you to jump into it, teaching you, training you, creating whole ecosystem. More money than you can think about is ready to there. And we're just like, So. And again, India has the unique advantage. I cannot expect this to happen to Sri Lanka or smaller nations, but I can expect this to happen to India. And again, have you ever seen China saying, oh, we can't manufacture this? There was a company, I think Siemens, they were like, okay, we are making MRI machine. We're going to switch that to India's assembly plants and all that. So China is like, okay, we're going to make our own. So fundamentally, India has the scale. That's the biggest advantage we have. We have enough consumption, demand, resources. You might think, oh, India is poor. No, we good. We got this. There are billionaires in India that are buying private jets from Honda. We good, bro. We good. We got this. We have Lamborghini showrooms. We are selling Lamborghini, Rolls-Royce Phantoms and all that. We good. We good. We have more than enough money. We good. Of course, we have contrast. So poor people are really poor, but rich people are really rich. And I mean like top 500 worldwide kind of rich. So we good. We have the demand. We have the resources, minerals and all that. All of that. Like everybody's shocked now. It's like, oh, India has lithium reserve. We had it since, British era. There was no infrastructure to extract it. So, and we must build indigenous supply chain of core technology, because again, there is two prong of it. First, you have the supply, and second, it allows fertilization for the future. Why the heck all European countries can grow so rapidly? They had the fertile soil. They had like, hey, I want to develop this analog to digital converter. Again, 99% of modern hard work, like complex work, is analog to digital converter. Like, hey, we had this, like there are companies that are like, but what do you do? We deal with analog to digital converter. Quality one, 16-bit one, 24-bit one, 32-bit one. Like, if you had the base foundation, expanding on it is super easy. And they can just go further. Or again, India can wait for a war, like we had Kargil war in 1999, where Pakistan, India went boom boom, and America bitch slapped both parties. And in India, the bitch slap was like, we're gonna disable your GPS. I'm like, we paid the military GPS. What the hell do you mean you cannot shut it off? We learned the hard way that thou shall not buy war technology from someone else, and we greenlit Navik after that. So same thing. Either we can get pitched up by China, because again, the worst part is, what if China realizes that Taiwan is too, too messy right now to go, but what if you want to start a war with India? They just have a button. Press the button, kaput the Indian economy. Because again, we are so dependent on those imports, and we did not build an ecosystem where we can afford expensive components. And again, there is no in-house. So any sort of shipment delay and destruction will cause catastrophic damage. So core technology allows you to grow up. And I would ideally like Indian children to have better future than me without going through war. And school colleges need makerspace. Like all these tools, what's the point? They need people to experiment with it. Like you would be shocked how many Indian school colleges have projects where like, oh, we are making new battery, and they are making good one. It's just that I asked them, it's like, okay, where's your graph? Like 1C discharge, 2C discharge. It's like, yeah, we don't have a data logger, and those are expensive. We are not making it, so it's expensive. So makerspace is like, amplifier for modern times. And what do you gain? Like you gain independence, GG, prosperity, money, jobs. Everybody wants jobs. So like how South Korea is going YOLO. Texas Instrument, half of America is literally run on this. Vishay, they don't have a single factory in China, by the way. They're smart. Samsung, ABB, Siemens. And Japan has like surprisingly deep tech tree, surprisingly deep. And I mean like deep, like resistor, capacitor, inductor, that kind of deep, like silicon, like in-house actual manufacturing. TDK has that. TDK Lambda is there, and EPCOS, and there are 2-3 more companies. So they're good. They got this. Of course, they may not be cost competitive, but they are the only one that, last I've checked, became the first one to make an aeroplane that has optical fiber for communication. I was like, what the hell? Like I'm talking like from a pilot's point of view, everything is drive-by-wire. It's drive-by-fiber. They read that. They needed a plane that has very low magnetic signature so they can detect submarine using magnetics. So how do you reduce it? Reduce the number of coils, reduce the number of copper wires. So transmit the signal via, from cockpit to engine on optical fiber. Main power bus is still there, but like main signal, the noisy part, that's an optical. They did that. America is going to do that. Japan is like, bro, we good. We got this. I'm like, what the hell? So it is necessary. It's not just like hee hee ha ha. It is necessary if we want India to grow and prosper. So this was my presentation on basically how can we fix India's basically hollow tech tree. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.